Welcome to the Fierce and Fit Mentor Podcast. I'm your host, Clarice Yau, a holistic health coach dedicated to helping women over 40 achieve their fittest, fiercest selves. Each week, we'll dive deep into the unique challenges of menopause, including belly fat, weight gain, muscle building, hormonal imbalances, and more. These episodes are recorded live from my free Facebook group, Fierce Women Sculpting Powerful Bodies and Champion Mindsets. Be sure to check the link in the show notes to join our incredible community and access free content, challenges, and resources designed just for you. So this is week 4 of our body recomposition live, or week 4 of our bikini challenge. And the title of this is Body Recomposition, Why Most Women Never Achieve It and How to, okay? And obviously today is really unique because we have an amazing guest to come on. And I mean, her story gets more amazing as you'll hear because she has an autoimmune disease. And the fact that she's able to achieve like this physique of the most ideal body she's ever wanted is amazing. So you're in for some amazing surprise today, some amazing inspiration, and of course some teaching that I always do with this bikini challenge. So I'm going to start with a couple of things for you to think about before going to the wins, and then we'll get started. So I want to start with the digest and what I had wrote, and I want to specifically point out this that if two women weigh exactly the same, but one has more muscle, less fat, more energy, a smaller waistline, and better insulin sensitivity, are they really the same? And you can put it below. Oh, by the way, if you haven't told me who you are, please tell me who, or sorry, say hello. We'd like to know who's joining us on the comments. Like I'm who and who from where and where. It would be awesome. But I also want you to answer this question. If two women weigh exactly the same, but one has more muscle, less fat, more energy, smaller waistline, better insulin sensitivity, are they really the same? So put your answer below. Are you really the same? If they're exactly the same weight, like I don't care, like maybe they're both 145 pounds, are they really the same? And this is something I just want you to think about because I always hear people like thinking about weight and I need to get to a certain weight. And obviously, as you guys know, the two, even if you weigh exactly the same, even if you look exactly the same, I have seen in my journey of being a coach, people who look very lean and you they get on a body recomposition scale and their fat percentage is super high, which I call skinny fat. My most like the thing I remember the most when I was training in the gyms was these like group of 3 girls from Korea, and they so tiny and so small. And then when they got on the body recomposition scale, like their body percentage fat was like 20%, 30%. I was just like, wow. And then I started asking them, and this is just a funny little anecdotal, but like it was like they're like, oh yeah, we love eating those what is those Chinese noodles things? I don't know, but those little Chinese little noodle packs. And I was like, okay, might not be too good for your muscle base. But like they look so skinny and they look smaller than a lot of other women that had gotten on the scale. So this is where I really want you guys, yeah, and Sarah Danielle says no, right? And sorry, if you're just coming in, please put your hello on the comments, the chat box, and tell me where you're plugging in from. That would be amazing. But we're just kind of discussing, with the digest question, like, are they really the same? And so many women are chasing, I need to look a certain way, I need to be smaller, I need to weigh less. And this is what today's topic is really about is most women are chasing weight instead of body composition, and we want to think about it more like this. The goal is not simply to lose weight or to weigh less, but the goal is to become more. And I had said this on my digest or on my teaser, and I just want you to remember that line is the goal is not for you to weigh less, but for you to become more. And what does that more mean? You're going to actually pick up on what that more means from the interview with Meg, because honestly she will blow your mind. Now she's a bit shy, so you guys have to be super super encouraging to her, and she's coming on to share because she really hopes to be able to help another woman. But her wins are exactly that, like becoming more, like more than just her weight. So If you guys are just popping in, I'm going to just do my quick intro here. So, this is the Fierce Woman Community Sculpting Powerful Bodies and Champion Mindsets. And this is again part four of our four-part bikini series, with body recomposition being the last one. Why? Because this is the ultimate goal. Yeah. This is the final ultimate goal that you want to achieve, which is less fat, more muscle on your body. But the part one to three of the previous ones, and it's kind of nice, the ones who, I mean, follow this series is great, but the ones who are in the upgrade, you have four of the books. And they're more exercise books, but you actually can look at them and kind of understand a little bit of the sequencing, right? Those workbooks. Because part one to three is about setting foundations, producing the right signals. Um, like again, like the metabolic signal, the first one, and about building muscle, and then hormone signals, the last one. So it's all about setting the right foundation to get to finally what this is. And again, Meg is on here. You might have seen me post about Kathleen Bernath, amazing body recomposition, because again, this is the final results that you want to achieve, right? Okay, so I want you guys to remember that. Now, I have a lot of wins, so I need you guys to be ready with your fingers to give hearts and emojis and like celebrations and everything, okay? So first of all, give yourself congratulations if you were in the bikini challenge. There's almost 30 of you in the bikini challenge, and you guys are near the end, so you made it through. If you've been posting, doing your bingo cards, you should celebrate yourself for doing it. So that's really good, because a lot of our challenges we see only at the end 10 people left. But right now we have like about 30 people still in this challenge, which is amazing. So you should be very proud of yourself. All right, so let's start with why weight loss and body composition are not the same. So let's talk a little bit about this, right? So weight loss is when you lose weight, you can lose fat, lose muscle, and lose water. This is what majority of the time happens in weight loss and in weight loss programs, or when you undereat, do these things to try to bring your weight down. Typically, what happens is you lose fat, you lose muscle, and you lose water. Okay. Water itself could be 10 pounds, could be even 15 pounds, right? I mean, you're 50% made of water, right? So it could be when you're like, I lost 10 pounds because I did this juice cleanse, which I hear all the time. It's like, no, you're just creating a metabolic signal, chaos signal in your body. Okay. So, this is what I want you to understand. Don't chase the number, don't chase that scale. Body recomposition is different, is when you lose fat, but you maintain muscle, and ideally you build more muscle. So this is important to understand. When you body recomposite, you lose fat, you are able to maintain muscle and then build more muscle. So a great example is Kathleen, is we had to drop her. She had to be in a position to maintain the muscle as we dropped her, and then she entered muscle accelerator and just is sculpting that body like crazy. So that is an example of body recomposition. This is what you want, not the number. So again, a woman can lose 20 pounds and actually worsen her metabolism. So this is something, again, I want to encourage a lot of women who are going into different programs or trying different things, keto, even fasting, just a lot of different things. And there's reasons for them. As I've said before, you just have to be super careful, because if you lose that 20 pounds or you stop eating, as a lot of women eat very little, you can lose that weight, but you worsen your metabolism. And this is where we want to be super, super careful. By the way, Oshone is on here. Hi, Coach Oshone. Excited for you to be working with Rhonda. So, awesome. She can actually worsen her metabolism. And why is that she will worsen her metabolism if she lose 20 pound? Is because most of the time what is happening is she's losing muscle. Okay, she's losing muscle. And I was going to bring up Rhonda later. I might say this again later, but Rhonda just starting the program. She did another program because she has a high thyroid issue. So it was a thyroid program and it taught her a lot of good things. And from what she told me, I understand it did teach her a lot about inflammatory markers and things like that. But the program had no basis around building muscle or creating um, more muscle tone in her body and also fixing some hormonal signals. Like it was about bringing down and fixing the thyroid, which is good. So it's a good start. But one of the reasons Rhonda came to me, and obviously she followed me for years and then all of this type of stuff, but she said to me like on the consult is like, I mean, I've lost all this weight, but I just have so much loose skin and loose everywhere. Like it's just, I feel like it's just loose, right? And when I looked at her belly, it's like the folds in the stomach, just like her belly is still there. She didn't really drop the belly so much as the rest of her body. So again, kind of coming back to weight. Like she did drop weight, but she didn't really drop so much of her belly or did she gain muscle in that program? And so now she is lighter, which is great, I'm sure, and she did improve a lot of signals in her body. But the thing is, she's like, I'm like just I want more muscle. I want to feel more tone in my body, and I still want to get rid of this belly. So it's funny because a lot of women do other programs and they still have a belly. They're like, I lose weight, but I still have a belly. And so this is kind of why I bring this up because you want to be cautious about not just losing weight, but you need to fix hormonal signals. I think I said that to you, Gigi, Ginger, on our consult the other day. Yeah, about fixing signals. So what tends to happen when people are just kind of losing more weight, but not really body recomposite? Yeah, Gigi says yes, she remembers. So there's a number of reasons, and you know, I want you to kind of identify maybe you've kind of done this, okay? Like put it below if you've done this. So typically you'll lose weight but also likely lose muscle if you've done a lot of dieting, crash dieting. Again, like I said, a lot of like juicing. So put it below in the comments if you feel like this could be you. Another one could be excessive cardio, so doing too much cardio. Another one is Ozempic or a lot of GLP-1s. There's another one with a T-Tarzan something, which is another appetite controller. That could help you lose weight, but you will lose muscle along with it. Okay. So Ozempic, GLP-1, meal skipping. Okay. So be honest with yourself. If this is you, put it below. Are you skipping meals, skipping breakfast? Skipping because I'm not hungry. How many times have I heard this with my personal consults, even with my own clients? I know, um, even like Sandy, we were talking about you, but you have improved a lot. It's like I skip. I don't want to eat. I'm not hungry. So I want you guys to be really cautious of this. There's a lot of women on here that are like, I need to drop weight, I need to be lighter. But be really careful. The next time you celebrate that number that has dropped, ask yourself, did I drop fat and muscle right now? Or did I just drop fat? Or did I just drop water? Which is often the case with juice cleanse. Okay, so Pam says she skipped meals, right? So again, identifying for yourself, what do you do that could be causing you to be losing muscle faster? Again, crash dieting, excessive cardio, Ozempic concern, GLP-1, other appetite suppressants, meal skipping, under eating. So I see a lot of people identifying different things on here and lose cardio, fasting, keto, intermittent fasting. Exactly, lose. And I think we talked about it because lose, we were even looking at your belly, and I had mentioned that you look like slightly there's yes, there could be a thyroid thing, but there's slightly that low tone in your body, even though you go to the gym 4 to 5 times per week, right? So this is where I really want you guys to think about that and be cautious about that, okay? So many women under these types of circumstances become smaller but softer and lighter but weaker. So I want you guys to identify for yourself in the comments. In the past, when you have dieted or gotten down the weight, were you smaller and softer? A lot of women say, I just feel soft, I still feel fluffy. Or did you feel lighter but weaker? What do you guys think, the ladies on here? Did you get lighter and weaker? Some are smaller but softer, fluffy. Yeah. And Gigi too. I remember talking to you, Gigi, just the body, it's soft, it's a little fluffy, but you go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week. This is what I'm saying is look at yourself. It was like if you're losing weight, but you're lighter, weaker, softer, this is not necessarily body recomposition. Okay, softer, weaker, lighter, weaker. Yeah, exactly, Angela. Okay, so it's like identifying for yourself, like, you know, are you, so this is for you to think. Are you currently losing weight or body recompositing? Okay, think about it. Are you losing weight or body recomposition? Because if you lose weight, it's not that that term is wrong. I'm just making you think, are you also losing muscle along with it? Because so many women tell me they cannot get sculpted, they cannot look nice and defined, and they're not thinking about the middle process of what's happening, right? Now let's look at this. The next part I'm talking about is has to do with what I said from the very first bikini series. The body must feel safe before it changes. It must feel safe before it will change. And the body will not respond properly if it is receiving poor signals. Okay. So, what are poor signals? Again, if you follow all my lives before, you will know, but I'm going to give you examples. Okay. So, poor signals would be chronic inflammation, and note down which one you think you might have: chronic inflammation, poor sleep, blood sugar chaos, gut dysfunction, chronic stress, excessive cardio, under eating, and hormone dysregulation. So these things will create poor signaling in your body. Okay, so which one do you feel you have? Do you feel like you're chronically inflamed? Do you feel like you're have poor sleep, like you never get enough sleep? Because that also creates poor signal. Do you have blood sugar chaos? Do you have a lot of cravings? Do you suddenly like feel high energy, low energy, blood sugar chaos? Put it below. Do you feel like you receive poor signals in your body? Do you have gut dysfunction? I forget who was telling me, was it you, Gigi, or Rhonda? I forget, but like it's like they don't have much bowel movement. They're having very little bowel movement. Do you have gut dysfunction? Put it below. Do you have chronic stress in your life? Do you have excessive cardio, like just doing too much, working out all the time, or not enough recovery? Um, so like which one? Under eating, we already talked about, maybe you're under eating, or hormonal dysregulation. Now, that's a big term. You may have hormonal dysregulation for many things, like you have a belly is already hormonal dysregulated, but then you have high stress in your life, and but then you also sit all day and don't move a lot. And so there could be hormonal dysregulations, many things together, right? Um, Sarah says previously chronic inflammation, which is currently being repaired. Yes, you're in Bio Revive, and I know Jane is working with you very closely. I know Armenia was on Instagram yesterday, and I was like, she looks good. I was like, Bio Revive works, and she goes, it works, but I went on vacation, and now I got to get back on track. And I remember Armenia saying that. Chronic inflammation, poor sleep, gut dysfunction. Yeah, exactly. I think Vanessa, you had a call with Oshone, I believe, last week, I think, Vanessa. So yeah, so it's like identifying where is your poor signals coming from, right? Poor signals. So again, remember the body is always asking, is this environment safe enough to invest resources into? So it's always asking, can I invest resources into? You have to understand in order for it to build muscle, it needs to take an exponentially amount of resources to go build the muscle. So your body really is not going to do that unless it knows it's safe and stable. Okay. So if your environment is not safe, you're going to see that your cortisol stays elevated, your cravings will rise, recovery worsens, muscle building slows, and fat loss becomes harder. So I want you to kind of think about that cycle. And I mentioned this last time too, but this is what happens for most women. Almost most women I see, whether it's Sandy, whether it's talking Gigi, whether it's talking to Rhonda, whether it's talking to even Jane, like I've seen that sometimes when you're stressed, that lower belly is just starting to increase. Yeah. And so I'm going to say it again, like listen carefully around what happens when the environment is not safe. Cortisol will stay elevated, high, cravings will rise, your recovery worsens, so your body cannot recover. So you cannot build muscle, your muscle building slows, and fat loss becomes harder. So most women are in this cycle. They are not able to build more muscle on their body. They cannot recover properly. I want you to think about this. Most women don't have a weight problem. They have a signaling problem. And I want you to just kind of get this in mind, okay? So like you don't have a weight problem. You don't really have even a belly problem if we had to be more precise, as most women want to lose belly fat. I know. Okay. Who here wants to lose belly fat? Please tell me below because I would tell you almost every single person is going to put it. Who wants to lose belly fat here? Put it below in the chat box. Daphne says she wants to lose belly, and I know that's one reason she started following me. Sarah says me. Jane says me. Armenia says me. Vanessa says belly fat. Kat Wilson says me. Improving, Kat, but improving. But yes, every woman, almost every woman is wanting to lose belly fat. And this is why I say so it's not really a weight problem. It's not really even a belly fat problem. It's a signaling problem. And this is what I want you to understand is, and Joanne as well, right? Is like there is some signaling that is not proper in your system. And that's my primary goal as a menopausal coach, as a hormone specialist coach, is to improve your signaling. So this is so super important because because there's a lot of things, you're going to do a lot of different things out there, and it's totally okay. Different things will get you to different goals, and some coaches do this, some coaches do this. But I think it's super important that you understand what you're chasing. That's what I want to clarify for you is what are you chasing? Because if you're chasing a lower weight on your body, you can do any program. Keto could bring your weight down, fasting can bring your weight down. You could do a juice cleanse, it can bring your weight down. Or you could also be chasing the other way, which isn't necessarily better. I was doing a muscle building program. So you do a muscle building program, maybe a CrossFit challenge, maybe the 90-day, what's that? Oh, the hard 70. There's that thing online, the hard 70, the crazy, crazy intense workout because I want to build muscle. But the problem is, it's not wrong. I mean, it's good that you get to work out or you're trying to lose some weight. But what ends up happening a lot of times in a lot of these other programs or approaches is that there is no talk about improving your hormone signals. And the biggest culprit for menopausal women and why all of you just said, I need to lose belly fat, like a whole bunch of you, is that you need to improve signaling in your body. Whatever program you choose to do, it must be around the hormone signals and how to improve it. And then you can start to drop belly fat and then start to improve the metabolic signals and then start to improve the muscle building signals. Okay. And so if you are listening and I want you to rate yourself. So this is a moment of clarity and honesty with yourselves. If I want you to think about signals in your body right now, okay, you thinking about your own body, would you rate yourself as optimal, medium, like your signals are operating in the middle, so, or slow? Put it below, put it below. Where would you rate the signaling in your body right now? Optimal, medium, or slow? So this is again, this is why you're gaining a belly. You don't gain a belly on an optimal metabolism. You have a flat belly, right? You have a flat belly. And so it's like I always say this, if you have a belly, you already having dysregulation of some sort, right? So this is something that you're like identifying for yourself. Okay, are the signals working for me right now? Where am I? And some of the ones who said medium is because they're in a program and they're healing their signals into becoming more optimal, right? So this is why. So n now what I want to talk about is what is the sequencing of body recomposition and what do you have to kind of look at to make this happen? So most coaches will kind of jump to, maybe like eat less or here's your calories, here's your macros. Um, and they, maybe they'll say like eat lots of veggies or and these principles by itself is not wrong. What I'm trying to help you understand is in isolation or without proper sequencing, you're going to get really a lot of good tips, but no progression in the improvement of metabolic signaling. Okay. So I think it's important that you learn um, kind of like when somebody goes to school, like again, I think always in analogies, right? It's like you wouldn't expect a little kid to be able to go from just writing the alphabets to writing a full-on essay, right? There has to be a progression. They go through the grades, they go through elementary school, junior high, high school, university, and they gain in their level of progression. And I want you to think about your body in the same way. Whereas for a lot of women, they almost will treat themselves like the kid who's just learning to write alphabets or maybe just like basic words like car or cat. Um, and I smile. By the way, those of you who don't know, I used to be an elementary school teacher. My favorite grade was teaching grade 1 and 2. Okay, so this is why I have all these examples. And I had the little cards with the words on them and everything. Yeah, okay. So the words, like the basic words they're writing, it's kind of like you're expecting your body to go from that to fully writing an essay, within, you know, a few weeks, a few months of some sort of diet, right? Like it's just too fast for your body. And this is what I want you to understand why there has to be a very methodical approach in regards to menopausal health, in regards to dropping belly fat. Okay. So let's talk about it. And we're going to talk about that fierce women methodology, which again, if you follow me for a long time, you'll know it's repeated many ways. It can be in a DNA methodology. It could be in, like 4 pillars. Some of the ones who've done the consult with me, like it's repeated in many different ways so that you can actually understand how it works. So let's talk about what is the steps you need to do to get to your body recomposition. So I'm going to say this quickly, then I'm going to go through each one. So you need to, step number 1, reduce inflammatory inputs. Number 2, you need to improve blood sugar control. Number 3, you need to support gut health. Step number 4, you need to improve recovery processes. Number 5, you need to create metabolic stability in your body. Number 6, you need to progressively build muscle. And number 7, you need to continue improving body recomposition. Now, this is a 7-step process because I want to kind of break this down for you a little bit more detailed. Okay. So again, I can break this down into 4 pillars. The ones who did consults understand that with me. I can break this down into DNA methodology, detox, regulation processes. The ones who watch my DNA live know that they're all on similar ideology, but just how I explain it based on what I want you to try to understand. Obviously, today's live is body recomposition. So let's actually dive into that. And obviously, the ones with upgrade, again, don't worry if you're trying to like take so many notes, you can take notes, but upgrade ladies, you will get the full notes in regards to this. So let's go through this. So step number 1, when you need to reduce inflammatory inputs. So for most women, you have inflammation in your body. If you told me you want to lose belly fat, the fact you already told me that means you have inflammation in your body. It is still happening. It doesn't matter if you tell me I eat healthy, Clarice. You are inflaming your body somewhere, somehow. Why do I say that? Because a belly fat is the first deposit zone, or one of the, maybe not first, one of the strongest deposit zones of inflammation, right? The ones who follow me a long time, there's corticoid receptors, different inflammatory receptor sites within your belly. So if I look at you visually and physically, I can see you. I will already be like, there's something happening with her inflammation. Doesn't matter, even if she eats healthy and she counts macros and she counts calories, she still has inflammation. So, signal number one that you must correct is inflammation in the body, and in particular, hidden inflammatory markers. This is super crucial, is there is a lot of hidden inflammatory markers in your food. Okay, so if you're listening, because we're going to do this step by step, step number one, if you're like, I think I need to, I need to learn where my hidden inflammatory markers are, I want you to put hidden inflammatory markers. Okay, put it in the comments below. If you're like, I think, I don't know, I'm still puffy, I'm still having belly fat, nothing's moving in my belly, I'm still feel a little bit inflamed. Like, what was it, Gigi? You said, was it you? The legs was always kind of holding water. You kind of know. So put below if you're like, I kind of need to learn about hidden inflammatory markers. Okay. So there's that step number one. Step number two, you need to improve blood sugar control. This is why, and everything I'm saying, I want you to understand this is the process Kathleen went through. This is the process Meg went through. This is why they have incredible results. It is procedural, step by step things that we fixed along the way. Okay. Step number two is improve blood sugar control. So, in order to improve blood sugar control, uh, this comes down to, do you understand macro combinations? How to combine macros together? How do you eat your food together? As well as distribution. So you might hear me say distribution and timing of food, because if your distribution timing of food is incorrect, you can really radically affect um, the sugar levels of your body. So you want to be super careful about elements of how do you combine, where do you distribute, how does this even look like in timing? And it can change for different people. There's some base principles, and then there's people like Joanne, um, who else works overnight? Well, Gigi, you work overnight as well. A lot of nurses who work overnight. Um, Distribution changes a little bit. Oh, Tracy Norman as well. I changed the timing of certain things. Just a lot of night shift workers have very different timings in distribution. So if you're listening to this and you're like, I want to improve blood sugar control, um, and before I actually tell you to put any comments, one of the things that will tell you don't have good blood sugar control, ladies, is your middle of your belly, right in the middle where you have visceral fat. If you are having a thicker waistline, like I said to Gigi, thicker waistline, and you are depositing visceral fat, that is a sign of potential insulin resistant belly. That shows poor sugar control. Okay, so if you're thicker, or you're slowly seeing your waistline go from maybe 29, 30 to 33 to 34 to 36 to 38, in the middle, that thickness is telling me that you might potentially have that visceral fat insulin resistant belly. So if you're listening, you're like, I need more help with macro combos, distribution, timing, put that below. Macro combos, distribution, timing, put that below. Okay. So that's step two. Step three, you want to support gut health. Support gut health. So this is another part, is gut health is a process. You need to heal your gut through a lot of steps. The inflammation coming down, the proper macros, the timing. Um, it's all the steps together, as well as cortisol control. So as long as your cortisol is elevated, your gut will be dysregulated. How many of you have actually experienced this before where you feel really stressed and then your stomach starts to hurt? Who has experienced this before? Where you're really stressed and your stomach starts to hurt.
If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Listening on Spotify, tap that 5-star rating. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, please leave a quick review. It really helps the show reach more women.
They're connected. They're really connected. Anxiety, exactly. Stress, nausea. So meaning, when it comes to supporting gut health, we need the first two, like you need to bring down inflammation. You got a macro combos, distribution, timing, but you also need to control cortisol, which again, that can be another topic, but you need to control the cortisol signal. Okay, many times, Kat says in Armenia, yes, it's connected. I mean, there's a lot of science and the nerve, the vagus nerve that goes to the brain, all this type of stuff. Okay. So supporting gut health, if you're listening to this, just like think for yourself, like, do I need better gut support, get gut health, gut support? I need to heal my gut. Again, if as long as the gut health inside is not healed, you're gonna have a lot of problems. Now, today, I do talk about it later, but I had said it to Gigi. Estrobolome, I said it last time. Your estrobolome is the microbiome specifically related to estrogen recycling, estrogen metabolism in your body that relates to gut health. So if your gut health, the way you eat, little bit here, little bit here. I don't care if you eat broccoli, you tell me you eat lettuce, you tell me like I eat like healthy, I don't overeat, I never eat fast food. I hear all of it, but you still have a belly. And there's still something going on in the microbiome or on the estrobolome, maybe because of the way you're combining your food, right? I gave that example last time. You guys remember about like the avocado, the olive oil, the beef, the what was the other thing? Oh, quinoa. Like, I gave examples of this. So, of like even the most healthy food can create an imbalance in your gut system, right? Um, so no empty macros, not just protein, not just fruit. Yeah, exactly. So again, if anybody's here like I need to work on better gut health, put gut health below. Okay, I need to work on better gut health. So again, step one, reduce inflammatory inputs. Step two, improve blood sugar control. Step three, support gut health. Step four, improve recovery. So you need this part is about taking into account your lifestyle. So a lot of my coaching, the ones who have worked with me or even the consult, why we like to go through multiple months is because I need to fix aspects of your lifestyle to create the stabilization of hormones. Kat Wilson is kind of a good example because most of her program was about recovery, right, Kat? Most of it was recovery. So it's again, so this is why I'm saying like sometimes you may see like a dietitian or you may see like a strength coach. They're all good. And even physio. Look, my mom is go see a physiotherapist because she had fallen, she needed these things. And I'm like teaching her at home like how to improve this exercise and breathing and all this type of stuff. They're all important. But you have to also remember like if they don't take into account the entire aspect of your lifestyle, your hormones still cannot stabilize. You could go to the gym and do a great workout. You could see a dietitian and they give you eat more vegetables, do this, eliminate grains, whatever they could say, right? But they're still not looking at the entire system. So this is something I think is really important because if you're ever why you're like, oh my goodness, like look at Kathleen or look at like Mag Andave, like how is it she's on this massive autoimmune disease and she can still recover and build more muscle? It's because we are taking into account the entire lifestyle. Okay. Like the lifestyle of Meg is very different from Kamiko and very different from Kathleen. Kathleen is a full-time nurse. She works full-time and still looks that amazing, had 4 children, is 65, and a grandma taking care of a grandchild. She looks amazing. That's Kathleen, right? And Mag Andave is works on a farm, has an autoimmune disease. Uh, you know, um, so just what I'm saying is everybody, and Kimiko is a dancer and everything, like everybody's lifestyle is so different. So how I coach Kimiko to Meg to Kathleen to Kat Wilson, like is all so different. That's what step four is very interesting, is about lifestyle correction. Okay, and stabilizing hormones. Okay. So if you're listening to this, you're like, let's think about my lifestyle. What does it look like right now? And you know you have a belly, or you're at a plateau, or you cannot lose belly fat. I want you to put improve recovery. And that is for yourself to also, I see gut health, Charisse Batista, I see gut health. Make sure you check your messages. Charisse will reach out to you. But improve recovery is not talked about enough. It is not talked about enough. You see a coach and they say, eat less, or follow this calories, follow this macros. But I'm very specific on unless you improve some sort of recovery process within your current lifestyle, most women are struggling with the cortisol belly. And the cortisol belly is the one that goes down and rounds around at the very bottom of your belly. How many ladies have I talked to? Gigi is the most recent. I've seen yours, Pam Bovey. I've seen even Jane Handelsman. I've seen Angela Brazil, although Angela Brazil is now looking is much better. But it's always this like pouch, right? As it comes down to the bottom, right? And that is cortisol, and it's something with your recovery process. Step five is creating metabolic stability, creating metabolic stability. So this is again about timing of food or distribution of food, where you're creating predictability in your food and how you eat, how you send signals to your body. If you are giving it random signals, like I always say, random here, don't eat here, the body doesn't know when to expect different things. That predictability creates a lot of instability in your metabolism. So it's about creating metabolic stability. And so, really, if you think about just kind of going through the step one, two, three, four, five. Inflammatory inputs, blood sugar control, gut health, improve recovery, create metabolic stability. I often call this all together as MNP, as you remember me saying, menopausal nutrition protocols. Is like the nutrition protocols. We are working to stabilize all the signals. Okay. So put MNP below if you are I mean, there's so many aspects. I don't know which one. Maybe I need help with all the nutrition aspects just to make it more cohesive is really MMP, what I'm saying in those steps, but I broke it down for you. MNP is what you need help with. Then put MNP below. Now, step six is progressively building muscle. So remember, this is the process of the Fierce Woman methodology of body recomposition. So notice what I mentioned about the steps. What went before the progressive building muscle? Think about all the things I spoke about before progressively building muscle. So if you are currently going to the gym and trying to build a lot of muscle, but you're still struggling with a belly, which is a lot of women, it's not that you stop going to the gym. That's not what I'm saying. It's good. You move your body. Great, great. Good strength training. Veronica loves her kettlebells. Good, right? This is good. But you may be missing the mark of all those signals before. Does that make sense? I'm trying to make you think about this in a process. You're missing blood sugar control. You're missing gut health support. You're still going to the gym. You say, I go to the gym 5 days a week, but I cannot drop my belly, Clarice, right? So now step six is progressively build muscle. Now, progressively build muscle is what I call MTP, which is menopausal training protocol. I say it all the time. I know I'm a broken record, but we're still going to talk about it. MTP is menopausal training protocol, which is how do you train your muscle to maximize muscle growth while dropping cortisol. Okay, this is super crucial. So, as the ones who did my consult, because I did like six, I think this week, that's why we have so many new clients, is that you need to increase, spike, or bring up GH, growth hormone. You need to bring up insulin growth factor. These are the hormones related to building muscle in the body, while at the same time dropping cortisol. Now, cortisol will always rise. Look, the moment you get out of bed, cortisol rise. And it's not that cortisol is bad. In fact, you need cortisol to build muscle. But what I am saying is, how long does cortisol get elevated in your body after you work out? That is huge. And if maybe a good way to help you understand is like the best bang for your buck. I mean, if you're going to put all that effort and all that time to go to the gym, don't you want the best signals to enter your body to have the most maximal GH and IGF-1 and the least amount of cortisol? Don't you want that? Like it's like you're going to the gym anyway, so why are you like maybe you're doing this big workout with very little um, GH and IGF-1 signaling and a high amount of cortisol in it, which definitely I can tell you a few workout protocols like that does that, and so and you're working so hard, but you're sending the wrong signals. So this is what MTP is about, is that progressively you need to learn how to progressively build muscle with the right hormone signals. And I also want to indicate why I said progressive is because MTP is also about progressing the workout structure. So Kathleen is the one of the best examples because she is a hardcore workouter. She's like Miko. So she has a lot of things I needed to change, really advance for her in her workout process to get her to start to like really build those muscles in place. So that progressive overload is super important. So if you are listening and you are, I'm not sure what you do. I mean, you might say I go work out 4 or 5 times. That's what Jackie Bertar said to me too. I'm working out 4 or 5 times, but you're not seeing any muscle gain, or your belly is still just stubbornly on, or you still look fluffy, or you still look watery, or then it may mean you need MTP. Okay, MTP, menopausal training protocol. Put that below MTP. Identify for yourself. Is it that you need MTP here? Um, and one thing I'll just say is sometimes, I mean, hey, I do appreciate that a lot of group classes are community and it gives you excitement. There is a reason for that. And even the ones that say they are resistance training group classes, like those big group classes you join into and all of that. But just be super cautious of those because for a menopausal woman, the cortisol spike is super, super, super high. And so there's just a lot of things I can say. Just be careful about just what you're choosing to do and put MTP if you feel like you need more help. Now, step number 7 is this is the last step. So it's continue to improve body recomposition. So this part is about once you have stabilized all the signals in nutrition, in your lifestyle, in your muscle building process, then that how do you bring this body composition to this like next level? And I always say it's like a sculptor sculpting everything in. So this is where something like somebody like Kathleen in Accelerator is super important. So to continue to refine a body recomposition, you need to have a dialing progression. And this dialing progression happens within your workout program, workout the moves, and the dialing process in your macros. It's called the redialing process of macros, okay? Which is where, for example, Meg is she's getting through a lot of the steps, but her next phase would be how do you get even better into the recomp stage, right? Just like Kamiko, right? Kamiko came to me, she was already lifting for many years, but we got her even better body recomposition. So yeah, so it's about continue to improve body recomposition through dialing processes. So this is why this is a progression, and it needs to happen progressively as you work through all the different signals and dial it in to get the body that you want. Okay, and Kathleen. worked really hard, right? Kathleen has now been with me for 9 months, almost 10 months. She did the transformation program, which was 3 to 4 months, and then she worked really hard over the next number of months into Muscle Accelerator. That's why she looks like sculpted, lean, and just like everything is just like now fat is off, muscle is being built. So there's a process involved, right? So this is the Fierce Woman methodology. Like I said, this is this, if you want to understand body recomposition, this is what this takes, okay? So again, listening to these 7 items, um, if you haven't put it below, identify for yourself which one you need the most, although you have to understand it operates in a system, right? So, but it's good for you to be like, well, what's my first step, Clarice? Like, because it's so many things. Maybe this is good for you to identify. Do you need to first reduce inflammatory markers? Do you need to improve blood sugar control? Do you need to support gut health? Do you need to improve recovery? Do you need to progressively build more muscle? And I can say confidently in some of the Bio Revive ladies, Sonia's probably gone off to dance, but she's been in Bio Revive for a while, and I always tell her, you've got to work on building more muscle now. So like, are you in the progressively build more muscle stage? Or are you in, I need to dial my body further stage, which is continuing to improve body recomposition? So, ladies on here, I want you to put in the comments section which which step are you at? What do you need to make this happen for yourself? Right? Sorry, yeah, okay, perfect. Which one? Put it below. Like which one? Reduce inflammatory markers, improve blood sugar control, support gut health, improve recovery, create metabolic stability, progressively build muscle, or continue to improve body recomposition. Okay, so put it below. Now, and before I dive further, the one thing I would say is if you want to understand how that looks, like I said before, you should see Kathleen or Jackie Burchard's photos because it's a very good like before and after. If you have not seen it, maybe put Kathleen or Jackie. We can send you the post to see of their transformation. Okay. So, let me just see where we are because I would like to bring Meg in. You can see Meg Meg is like waiting patiently. But I have a lot to say. Let me just see where we are. So that's the process that the Fierce Woman methodology. Let me just see. Da-da-da. Okay. So I can probably bring her in very soon. So Meg, I always say I'll give you a little bit of heads up, maybe in about 5 minutes here. But I just will wrap up some things, and then after she shares, I have some few more wrap up points to talk about, um, including including what are the common mistakes of body recomposition. So I'm gonna talk about that after Meg after Meg comes on, okay? But I do want to um, talk a little bit about final few things before she comes on, okay? So fat loss is often a side effect of improving your environment. So when you think about I need to lose fat, and instead of thinking like dieting or all this type of stuff, I want you to think of I need to improve my environment. Who here believes they need to improve the environment for their body? Put environment, improve environment below. So Gigi says you. So improve environment. Fat loss comes from better environment for it. Okay. So all right, let's actually, at this point, we're gonna I'll bring Megan in a second. Again, I'm just going to share her wins, and then Meg, just make sure you're ready. I will, and then you'll unmute yourself, and then come on to talk with us. She's already here, but she will probably be ready in like the next few minutes. She already turned on her light if you see Meg over there. So as a recap of all the amazing wins, a Meg mind blown is Meg is in my transformation program. and within the 12 to 15 weeks, she has accomplished dropping 53.81 inches, 23.2 pounds, 20, almost 26 inches off her midsection. And like I said, she is so lean. Her legs are looking like her younger self. Her back is no more excess fat, and her abs are showing through with the lines. And she told me the other day that her resting heart rate is now at 56, which is the lower it is, the healthier she is. She's never had that before. So just amazing. Clothes is falling off of her. She needs to buy new underwear. I mean, just all sorts of amazing, amazing things. So, and you guys, please, give her lots of hearts, cheer her on. Like I said, this is not her comfort zone, but she's willing to come on to hopefully inspire and help another woman on here. So please drop her lots of hearts and all of that. So Meg, you can come on in. Yeah, she's there already. I see her and she's muted herself. So Meg, I'm gonna ask you some questions and you can answer kind of what you think. So uh, before joining the program, what did you believe was preventing you from achieving the body that you wanted? Because I know that you followed me, and you can share this for probably 3 years, Meg, or 2.5 or 3 years. And you always listened to lives, you did different challenges, but you never joined a program. So, kind of, can you describe that before joining the program? What was stopping you?
Um, I think the big thing that was stopping me was having structure and accountability. Yeah,
Hmm.
I didn't know where to start.
Hmm.
And so the holistic approach was missing because a few years ago, I think in 2019, I started, watching what I ate and portion sizes, and I lost weight. I lost like 20 pounds, kept it off a year, but I didn't feel healthier. I was just thin. I wasn't healthier. And
Yeah.
suddenly at 13 months, it started piling back on and nothing had changed. And within a few months, it had all come back on except about 5 pounds. And I am so sure that was 5 pounds of muscle I'd lost.
Yeah.
So I was flailing around by myself thinking, if I lose weight, it'll all be fixed. But I wasn't healthier and I wanted to be healthier. So I was missing having that holistic approach and having that structure and that accountability to actually know where to go.
Yes, and I think you said a really important point. Like, you had lost weight in this other program, but once you stopped, everything started coming back, and that you said a lot of the weight, like you were, like I said earlier, like was probably muscle because you were weaker. You weren't, you were lighter, but you were weaker, and that's exactly it. Is like you you lost weight in that program, but in this program, like we're gonna talk about it, but it's just like how much stronger you felt. And there's a big difference in that body recomposition, right? But I do want you to share a little bit with everyone here because I never said what your autoimmune is. If you can describe to the ladies here what your autoimmune disease is, and how it affects you, because it's pretty significant, and what you've been able to accomplish is no small feat here.
Um, I have ankylosing spondylitis. So it's an autoimmune inflammatory chronic disease that mainly affects the spine, especially the SI joints. So I have a lot of lower back, hip, buttock pain, stiffness, and I also have a lot of enthesitis, which is inflammation where your tendons and ligaments can attach to joints.
Mhm.
I mean, it got so bad that I couldn't hold a textbook where I'd had such bad enthesitis.
Yes.
So mornings can be really awful and really make me very stiff and slow going. So I wasn't sure how it would be to work out because I wasn't working out. When I lost weight, I did not work out. It was a missing piece was exercise because everybody was like, well, if you work out, you might get a flare up of your symptoms. And then, those can last from days to weeks and then you'll be worse off. And so, and because I'd fallen off a horse, what kind of threw me into this autoimmune disease was I fell off a horse, fractured a vertebrae and had a pelvic ligament injury. And,
Wow.
and then ended up, by the way, it's thrown you into this autoimmune disease. So,
Yeah.
it was just this circle, a vicious circle, and they, oh, you shouldn't do sit-ups or strain because you developed syrinx in your spine, and it could cause all these problems. Well, I was just getting sicker and heavier, and I was like losing bone mass. I actually had some osteopenia that was starting to develop, and it was just like doing nothing wasn't helping me. And I thought, I have to make a change. I have to look holistically at me.
Yes, yeah. And just what you described, like I think I shared with you in our SMS, the text we were texting back and forth. I have a friend who has ankylosing spondylitis and it can really curve your spine. And like he's like permanently hunchback, like he literally cannot stand up straight. And like she said, like the anthesitis is it causes inflammation of the joints and the ligaments attaching to the joints. This is incredibly painful and hard, and that for her, uh, this autoimmune not only has that internal inflammation process, but also like remember what she said. She said like so many people told her not to work out, not to hurt herself further, and so she was always in the mindset like I can't I can't do all of this stuff. I can't get more fit, I can't work out, I can't train. And I want you to share, Meg, is like um, I guess before joining the program, did you think with your autoimmune disease or condition that you would always just like that it's impossible for you to get fit or just you'll never get to work out? I guess what was that thought process for you?
Well, I definitely thought that there'd be a lot of things I wouldn't be able to do, that, it would cause me more problems. And then on top of all that, you have fatigue. And then I'm like, well, I'm so fatigued. How possible could it be to, be consistent
Mhm.
and and work out consistently? Because there were times I could feel it coming. I'm going to crash, so quick, get the animals done and get everything done in the short period of time because I know I'm going to hit a wall and crash. So if
Mhm.
I just wouldn't be possible, I that those days were probably behind me mostly. And there I was looming with the 60s looming at me, thinking, how chronically ill and unfit am I going to be in my 60s if I don't do something now? Like I can't stay on this
Totally.
process. It was making me
Totally.
sicker.
Yeah. And Meg, you're 58, 56? I can't remember. 58, 58. Yeah. So you're getting close to 60. Yeah. I mean, I see Phyllis on here and she's like, oh, just you wait. She's like 75. But it's true, right? Like as you continue to age, it's only going to get worse. So if you don't do something now, it's going to get worse. And so I guess I think you said it, but like let me ask you, what made you decide to finally join a program? And again, like I said, I remember all the ladies, Debbie's working in the background all the time, but we always recognize our long-term people. Like we're always like, oh yeah, there's her. Oh yeah, there's Kamiko. Oh yeah, there's Kat Wilson. Oh, there's Phyllis Adams. Like we know all the long term. And Meg, you have been with me again 2.5 years or maybe three since Facebook. So what made you finally decide to join a program?
Well, as a retired nurse, I've definitely heard you speak, and I know that your science is right. And then there you are. You can go and you can build yourself into a champion body. Like, who else would be better to teach me
Right.
than somebody who's done it themselves,
Yeah.
who's a woman and who understands the science that can help me get there and help me not hurt myself, and and work with me to be successful. So I thought, I need the help. I'd hit rock bottom. I felt so overweight, so unhealthy. It's
Yeah.
just like, I got to make a change, and a holistic approach that you offer is what I knew I needed, because I was missing that the first time I tried it by myself to lose weight, and it
Yeah.
wasn't long successful. So
Yeah, and I mean, I hear you. And Debbie actually wrote that I hit rock bottom too. I mean, Debbie was many years ago. It's almost 5 years or 5.5 years ago. Debbie was crying on that call. Like she was so overwhelmed and she was attached to the scale. Debbie was, yeah. And so she identifies with you. She wrote that down in the bottom. But yeah, Meg, like you were just like I've done this. I try to lose weight, but now I gained it back and I feel horrible, right? And I think that's probably why you're like, and I think it gives you an advantage being a nurse. I mean, so many of my clients are nurses, like Kathleen, Burnett, Joanne on here. I think an advantage of, and Gigi, you work in the medical field, she's an X-ray tech, but like the advantage of being in the medical field is there is something about like knowing there's science backing it up, knowing that like, oh my gosh, like it can't just be like haphazard, do something YouTube here, do something over here. There has to be a scientific approach, but also, like you said, Meg, holistic. It's like, am I missing something here? Where is the other thing? Like, what is making this whole thing come together? And yeah, Meg, I'm so glad you did. So let's actually talk about the next thing is like, what was the first sign that your body was actually changing? Because you had so many changes, unbelievable. What was the first sign that your body was actually changing?
Some of them were so subtle they snuck up on me. Uh, a big one was, yeah, I mean, of course, your swimsuit starts sagging. You get in the hot tub and it's like you got an inner tube of your swimsuit around you. It's like, whoa.
Guys, you guys have to put some emojis because I that's actually a funny image. It's like your bathing suit is so loose that there it comes up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What else?
Workout shorts have fallen down. Your underwear looked like you got a droopy butt. So there was those obvious ones, but then there was the sleep. I mean, I used to be one of those people who go to bed and I lay there like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, tossing and turning. I'm uncomfortable. I can't sleep. And then all of a sudden it's like I lay down in bed and I fall asleep. My sister and I, we had our first ever 3 nights away, and she said, "Oh, the other night, you said good night, you rolled over, and you were asleep in like minutes. I wanted to hit you."
Because you used to not be able to sleep, but now it's like you can sleep so well. Yeah.
Off, like off to sleep so easy. So that was like huge for me. The other one was when I started, I dropped soy because I used to like soy milk in my coffee, but I dropped soy, and so I had a few residual hot flashes sneaking past my hormone low, very low dose hormone patch, and all of a sudden those went away. I wasn't having any more of
Yeah.
those little extra hot flashes. They just went away,
Disappeared.
which was really,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so no more hot flashes, better sleep, clothes falling off of you, like you said, buying new underwear or yeah, so just a lot of non-metric wins. Yeah. So part of this live is like there's so many other things you can celebrate that is not just about weight. I mean, of course you had amazing metrics, but also just like all of the bringing down the inflammation, regulating your hormone system. This is one of the reasons why you don't have hot flashes anymore. You can sleep better, is regulating that hormone system, right? You're getting a lot of emojis and cheering, and Pam wrote in the comments, must be nice. She give you a little emoji that you get to experience that. So, and so another question is like when you look at your results, um, obviously, again, you have great results, like 50 inches off, 23 pounds down, 25 inches off your midsection. But like, um, you know, the number on the scale, like, what are you most excited about? Is it like the number on the scale or how your body feels overall or how you feel about yourself? Like, what excites you the most or makes you the most proud?
Well, even from the very beginning, the weight number wasn't my first thing I wanted, because I wanted to feel healthier. I used to be, when I was younger, I did gymnastics, judo, every sport on the planet. I was a fit, healthy person, and that sort of let me ride to about my 30s without doing exercise, because I don't, I never
Yeah.
did. Um, but I would definitely say that I feel healthier. That's a huge thing for me, is just overall feeling healthier, because all the other bits are the bonuses that come with being fitter and healthier. As
Yes.
I started working out, I stopped complaining as much. When I started, I'd say to my husband, "I don't want to work out today. I don't feel like working. Have I told you I don't want to work out today?" And he'd go, "Yes, you told me you didn't want to work out today." Well, all of a sudden I stopped doing that, where I'm like, "I gotta go work out. I gotta go work out. It's like 2 o'clock. I gotta go." Um, so I definitely would say that I feel healthier, but the big thing I
Yeah.
feel best about is that I hung in there even on my bad days because it's so easy to say, oh, I messed up, so I'm going to throw in the towel, or oh, I hurt my back traveling to my parents. I'm not going to do my workout today. But it's like, no, I'm going to use lighter weights. No, I'm going to be careful of my positioning. No, I'm going to do low impact instead of high today, but I'm going to do that workout. And
Totally. Yeah.
my that was the thing that I felt the best about was that I stuck it out. I hung in there.
Yes, like you said, like it's about the consistency, right? Like even on bad days, you still show up. It's about showing up and doing the work, right? And I smiled because when you said, "Oh my gosh," at the beginning, I was like, I don't really want to do the workout. And I'm just laughing because I feel so many women on here identify because I know my clients, Debbie, Angela Brazil, Marilyn Saul, all of these, they were at the beginning like, I just don't want to work out. It's hard. Clarice's workouts are not simple, but then as you go along, you build momentum. You start to go like, I like the way I feel. I feel stronger. I feel better, and like you said, like it just builds one on top of the other. And of course, it's not always easy. You still have to make the decision some on the not so good days to still show up. But it got easier, right? To show up. It got easier to come and do the workouts, right?
If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Listening on Spotify, tap that 5-star rating. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, please leave a quick review. It really helps the show reach more women.
And I'm gonna share screen here because I think you guys can also see it. Let me just see. And I think I will still post this. Can you guys see? Tell me with a thumbs up. Can you see the writing on there? Yes. Yes. Okay. So Meg had sent me this. She said, Clarice, the changes that I've been seeing in my body in the past couple weeks are just so immense and happening so fast that every morning when I look in the mirror, I feel like I need to introduce myself because I just don't know who that is. It's truly shocking. Look forward to our meet next week. So one thing I love about this, again, give her hearts and things like that, is I think when you start to truly change your body inside out, like not just losing weight, but like you genuinely feel better. All your hormone signals are working for you. In you achieve something you never thought possible in the mirror. It's an identity thing. It's like this, I can't believe this is me. Like, wow. Like that's why I kind of said it's like she never thought possible. She has an autoimmune disease and like she's looking lean, toned, stomach flat, ab lines, like muscles starting to pop in her shoulders. Like just it's amazing to see this. So give her lots of hearts. Now, I think I can show you another one here. Let me see. Yeah, I see lots of yeah, I'm gonna give you hearts too. So then another one was this one. Mm, yeah, this one is really. No, wait. Is it sharing exactly the same? Do you see? Hold on. Let me try that again. Give me 1 second here. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, this one. Well, there's a whole bunch. I'm just gonna share what I am seeing here. Uh, this one. Yeah, this one. Can you guys see it on the screen? So it says pivotal week, Clarice, feeling lighter, tighter, stronger, and healthier. Did you ever see the TV series The $6 Million Man? Which I haven't, but I just was so funny to read this. It opened with, gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology. We have the capability to make the world's first bionic man. Steve Austin will be that man, better than he was before, better, stronger, faster. Well, that's what you are doing for me. Clarice can rebuild her better than she was before, better, stronger, fiercer. And ladies, I want you to put a heart or put fiercer because look what she said there. She wouldn't say necessarily a weight. She wasn't just about losing weight. She said, I feel better, stronger, and fiercer. Again, it's like exactly what we talk about. Body recomposition, being stronger, feeling fiercer, believing in yourself, the confidence in yourself. And so I'm not looking at the chat box. So there's hope for me yet. Oh, of course, Daphne. Yes, absolutely. I mean, so many ladies on here who work with me can tell you there is hope. You don't have to stay stuck with belly fat forever, right? And some of the other wins that are really good is, because these are all like body recomposition wins, is this one. I love this one too. Um, mm, this one. She said, "Oh my gosh, Clarice, I noticed it this week, even in my posture. I can't wait to do my metrics and photos tomorrow. Thank you, thank you. I really appreciate you." But like this one, the posture, right? That's not about weight. It's about posture. She's even standing taller, feeling better, energy is better, right? And I think we have one more here. Let me see. And like continue to cheer her on. Like this is just, I just love seeing all her wins here. Um, let me see. Sorry, just clicking around here. Mm. Oh, this one. Well, she kind of talked about it, but it's still really good to see this. No, that's not the one. We just did this one. It's because I have to open different frames here. Give me a second here. Mm. Okay. I think what's happening is they're overlapping and I don't know where it is. Give me one more second here. Okay, let's do this. Now it's better. This one? Yes. Okay. So here, this one, she says, Clarice, I put on one of my t-shirts yesterday and thought, gosh, I don't remember this being so long. It covered my butt. Then I realized it hadn't gotten longer. It was just that I'd gotten thinner. It's like having a closet of new clothes, many of which no longer fit. Yes. Um, and ladies, actually, a few of the ones who've worked with me, I think you guys can attest to. I can remember Sherry. I remember a whole bunch. It's like when you start looking at your closet, and Jackie Bertrand, she was on here too. It's like, oh, I think I have new clothes, but I also think I need to start buying more clothes, but smaller clothes. It's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have. Yes. So yes, just so super proud of you again, just giving you lots of hearts. Just the changes are not just about weight, but all those things is what I'm talking about for body recomposition. So I think I just have one more question for you. Let me just see here, Meg. And maybe put below everybody, what inspires you the most about Meg's story? Because it's really, really amazing. Like her story has I think it's just such a great example of body recomposition. So put below, what do you feel like is something that you love about Meg's story? So let's actually jump back here and so, Meg, I know that I posted this yesterday, but yesterday or the day before, you had sent me and said like, "Oh my gosh, I weighed at 132 pounds this morning, and I actually may hit my fantasy goal weight of 130 pounds." Mind blown. And I know it's not just about weight, as we talked about everything, but like you just never even thought it's possible to get to this point. I know that's why you were like mind blown. And what would you say to the woman listening right now who feel stuck, or like Daphne saying like I feel like there's hope, who believes like they may never achieve their dream body, that they can never flatten their belly. Like what advice would you give these women?
Well, I definitely say try something different, try something holistic like your program, and then be willing to jump in at the deep end of the pool. When Oshone phoned me, when she initially talked to me, I said, I don't know if I can just jump in at the deep end of the pool, go from not working out to working out multiple days a week. Like, I don't know if I could do it. And she's like, talk with Clarice. She'll work with you and it'll work out. And so I did. I jumped in to the deep end of the pool and you helped me swim with it and get be successful. So, jump into the deep end, trust the process, and take it one day at a time, one meal at a time, one workout at a
Love that.
time.
Yes.
And you will have results because I'm nothing special. I just did the program. I did what you told me to do, and it worked for me. And I have to say, I remember when my biggest trouble was trying to eat the amount of food. Like I was that person who didn't eat. And I said to you, how much salmon and eggs can one girl eat? And you said lots. And then
Um,
and you said just eat it. And so I told my husband what you said. And so whenever he's like, you got to finish your dinner. I know. I said, I know, I'm just full. And he'd go, just eat it.
I'm glad your husband was on my side. You need to eat the food. Yes. This is why I always tell everybody is like so many women is like, I'm dieting, I need to eat less. And I'm like, no, you'll be eating more food. You need to eat more food. But of course, then women have this fear, oh no, if I work with Clarice, she's gonna make me eat lots of food. Not knowing that like what you eat is almost like still just a basal metabolism sometimes for some of you, like Sandy Kessinger, is not, I'm not making you go crazy, but I'm trying to heal your metabolism because a lot of you are eating at 800, 900, 1,000 calories and still telling me you're not not hungry. And just like your husband, although I say it nicer than your husband, but yes, you need to eat your food. Yes. So a lot of my clients eventually tell me like, wow, I never thought I could eat more food and lose weight and lose so much inches and lose my belly. Like, how is this even logically possible?
I know that I'm eating more than I ever have in my life because I used to skip breakfast or I'd skip lunch and I'm eating more and losing weight. It's just like, how'd that happen? So I say, trust the process, do the program as it's laid out, and just one day at a time, one meal at a time, one workout, and you'll get there.
So amazing. And I think it really what you just shared just breaks so many women's like fear, which is the fear of eating, more. And I think if anything, the thing that from your comment is because when you eat more or when you fix the metabolic signal, remember I said, how is it logical that you would lose more weight, lose your belly, drop 25 inches off your body, you eat more than before, and logically, from a mathematical standpoint, doesn't seem to make sense. But when you think about it from everything I've taught about metabolic signals, it makes sense, right? So it's about healing the metabolic signals. And you have a lot of amazing comments. Um, Angela says, sorry, I'm just reading it. I love how she was determined to get her body healthier despite her autoimmune disorder. Exactly. She didn't let that stop her. She still did it. And Daphne said, determined, dedicated, and disciplined. So yes, you have really helped a lot of women. And I think Kat Wilson said, amazing results while dealing with health issues is very inspirational. Totally. I think that even and I mean, every woman has their own struggle, but I think sometimes maybe you don't have a health condition, but you're like, oh, I don't like my body. It needs to change. It needs to be faster. Like, and then you hear somebody who is like, maybe like her or Lisa Pelche, if you remember, she had cancer and she radically transformed her body in my program. It's like you're like, okay, maybe I should be more grateful for the situation I'm in, because it gives you perspective, right? Gigi says she fought through the struggles and pain. Phyllis Adams says, I love her mindset and realization of what is possible. Yes, exactly, exactly. And Kimiko says, working through pain and illness is so inspirational. Debbie said, never gave up given some struggles in health. So, yeah. Sorry, and I see Kat Wilson says she burnt that jean skirt of Sherry, which is totally unrelated here, but yes. So Meg, thank you so much for, coming on and sharing your experience. Give her lots of hearts, applause, because this is not her comfort zone, just so you know. She doesn't like speaking in front of people. She has hardly any photos. She's like, Clarice, you want me to find a photo for you? I never take photos. And so she really got outside of her comfort zone to come on here. She was hoping that at least some of the things she shared can help someone like her who may think it's not possible or who might have autoimmune disease, to help them along the way. So yeah, thank you so much, Meg. Any last words or you're good? Yes.
I'm good, but
Yeah, she
thank
said
you.
everything. So thank you so much. So you can, yeah, mute yourself and then I'll just finish up here. So, okay, perfect. Awesome. So let's kind of dive back to this and thank you ladies for cheering her on. I see all the hearts um and Debbie even said, I need healing, the 3Ds. You helped me so much. Yeah. Yeah. I honestly think a lot of women are missing the healing phase. Like, how do you heal your body? How do you heal your signals? So exactly what Debbie said there. So the last section I'm going to do here, and then we'll wrap up, is the biggest body recomposition mistakes. Okay. And Meg indicated a few, but I'm just going to repeat a few more. So, no surprise, number one on my list is eating too little. We just talked about it. Number one biggest body recomposition mistake is eating too little. Number two, doing too much cardio or doing incorrect workouts, okay? Because cardio or workouts can spike cortisol. It's really that's the bottom line. Number three, not eating enough protein. Although I know a lot of the ones in my bikini challenge kind of are better at that a little bit now. So not enough protein. Number four, not enough progressive overload. So not progressing your workouts, just staying the same all the time. By the way, progressive overload is not just increasing weights. Yeah. I forget who was saying this to me, but she was like, "Oh yeah, I do increase my weights." But I said, "But that's not necessarily just progressive overload. There's so many other elements of progressive overload. In fact, if you increase weights too fast, you spike your cortisol." Right. So number four, number five, ignoring inflammation in your body and where it's coming from. Number six, ignoring sleep and not getting the proper sleep and all of that. And number seven mistake of body recomposition is chasing the scale weight. Now, Debbie's laughing. It's so funny to see Debbie's expression. But chasing the scale weight, I have, she's not actually on here, but another client of mine weighed herself every single day. And I was just like, you really need to stop doing that. But she was just like, I need to know my weight every single day. And just like, that's the type of stuff that really keeps you stuck, right? So, and so these are very common mistakes. And I want to ask all of you to be honest because hearing Meg's story, you know this is super common. Which one is you? I want you to put it below. You eat too little, you do too much cardio, or you're doing like the wrong workouts. Maybe put it below not eating enough protein. Um, Number four, maybe not enough progressive overload. Put below what you struggle with. Maybe it's ignoring inflammation. Maybe there's inflammation things you're not dealing with. Maybe it's ignoring the fact that you don't sleep well or have hot flashes, like you're just not sleeping well. Me too, eat too little, chase the scale. Yeah, GG. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we talked, so I know exactly that situation you're kind of in. Or yeah, number seven, are you chasing the scale weight? Identify for yourself which one could possibly be you. Okay. And this is what will keep you stuck for a long, long time and going in a circle or like that. I say the dog chasing their own tail, always just chasing their own tail. Like they almost catch the tail, then they can't, right? It's like a lot of women just thinking they're almost getting there, and then they realize, wait a second, why am I gaining weights back so fast? Or why do I feel so weak after I've lost weight? Like, so people, it's like that dog chasing the tail, that illusion that you're almost getting there, but you're not. You're just chasing your own tail all the time, right? So Cherie says not enough protein. Daphne says ignore inflammation, not enough sleep. Okay, so you're identifying some factors, Daphne. That's good. Kamiko, is always tough to meet my protein macros. Yes, Kamiko, because we work together, because she has a high protein goal, but she also is so busy and active and always on the go and dancing, and I'm always on her for that protein. She's smiling. Yeah, exactly. Angela Brazil says, not hitting my macros consistently. I used to chase the scale. I'm over that. Yes, exactly. And I'm excited to help your sister, Angela, and actually talk to your sister, Wyvanir, as well. So, yeah, Phyllis chasing the scale weight. Yes, exactly. So, you guys are identifying what will keep you stuck, and awareness is the first step to change. So, you guys are starting to be aware what is causing you to not get to the body composition you want, right? And so just to wrap up here, I want to kind of close with a couple of things. So I want you to bring them back to, um, thinking about like Kathleen and Rhonda and Meg, okay? Like, I want you to think about like all of these different ladies, right? Like, Kathleen has excellent recomposition results. Um, but before she came to me, she worked out a lot. Like, again, she's like a Kamiko. She worked out a lot, but she was still bloated. She had an inflamed belly. Again, if you look at that first photo, inflamed belly, a cortisol belly, and she had a lot of cellulite in her body, even though she worked out 4 or 5, I don't know, I think she even worked out 6 days a week. She was just a lot, very into working out. But what changed for her is all the steps I said above about inflammation signals, dropping inflammation, sugar stability, all those things I said before, recovery process, gut healing processes. So Kathleen can get to where she is today to build the muscle she has, right? So that's one example. Now, Rhonda, who's just starting the transformation program with Oshone, she's lost a lot of weight in the other program, which is great. It was a thyroid program. And from what I understand, it did teach her some inflammation markers. But that program by itself didn't do a whole lot to build muscle, to improve metabolic signals in terms of the belly. I believe they improved signals in the thyroid because it was a thyroid program. But the belly, she still had inflammation belly. She still had cortisol belly. She still had estrogen dominance in the fat going to the back of her back in the back area in the lower. So they did not fully fix the metabolic belly signals, right? Um, and what she was telling me is like she just didn't like all the looseness and skin and everywhere with all the loss. So sometimes there is processes for sure. There is like stages, but I'd much rather see you instead of losing all this weight and having a whole bunch of looseness and like lax skin and everything, or rather you do a program that kind of does it together, which is a body recomposition program where you're losing fat, you're losing, the belly, but at the same time, like building muscle. So your body looks tighter, more toned. I think even Debbie, we talked about, so your belly doesn't look like there's like a flop, you know, the tone, the tightness is super important. So Rhonda's example is she did another program and decided to come and do this, but maybe it's better to do it at the same time, body recomposition versus lose weight in a program and lose muscle and then try to do a recomposition program, right? It's better signaling for your body. So there's Rhonda. And then, of course, there is Meg, right? So again, Meg, she just did the interview, is an example of someone who already has pre-existing conditions. I think Gigi on here has Crohn's. A lot of women have different things like RA, rheumatoid arthritis, Crohn's, gastritis. They have a lot of conditions. So I just want to encourage you that don't let your conditions stop you. Don't let the conditions like, oh, I have inflammation in my body. I have to take medications. I have to see my doctor. Therefore, I cannot do your program or I cannot start this body recomposition process when actually, you will improve all signals in your body, including inflammatory immune response in your body, when you improve hormonal metabolic signals in your body. This is the thing that a lot of people like Meg realize, oh my gosh, I can heal my body. Oh my gosh, I can be stronger. I can lose fat. I can build muscle even if I have an inflamed body, right? So, yes, thank you, Kamiko. Awesome. And so I just want you to remember you are your own person. You are unique, and every person has a different body. Every woman is different. So you need to have a very specific approach for your body to get to your body recomposition goals. And it's not about how do I weigh less? It's about how do I build a healthier, stronger, more responsive body. And I want to say that again because I think it's important that you guys write this down. It's not how do I weigh less? It's how do I build a healthier, stronger, more responsive body? Okay. And if you are listening and you are ready to be like, I want a more responsive body, not just a lighter body, but a more responsive body, I want you to put the word responsive below. Okay. Responsive body is really what we're trying to fix, the signaling. So if you're listening, you're like, I'm tired of guessing. I'm tired of like not knowing what direction and hodgepodging, and you want to have better response. I want you to put response or better response below because this is the key to body recomposition. Okay. And just a quick note for all my bikini ladies before you guys log off. So, this is your last week in the bikini challenge. So, please finish strong. Make sure you post your wins on Friday, probably not later than Saturday, because we want to do a celebration win of all the bikini ladies. So please post your wins. And remember, it's not just about weight, it's not just about even numbers, although we would love to celebrate that. I would love to hear all the non-scale victories of you in the bikini challenge, of you becoming stronger, of you having better habits, because that's what's true body recomposition. Okay. Um, and so, yeah, so just make sure all the bikini ladies, you post your wins on Friday and end the challenge really, really strong. And like I said, if you, yeah, I see Daphne better response, Charisse Batiste better response. So we can reach out to you. Make sure you check your SMS or messages. Daphne, I think we cannot SMS you because you are in the Bahamas. So make sure you check your circle messages. Okay. Yes, our system cannot message you from the Bahamas. So awesome. Okay, thank you, ladies, for joining. And if you enjoyed this, love this, let me know. Put it in the comments or put it in the post whenever we post it in Circle. It always helps me to serve you ladies better. Okay, awesome. Have a great rest of your night. And I hope you enjoyed the 4-week bikini challenge.
Thanks for tuning in to the Fierce and Fit Mentor podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit the follow button on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, or wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode. If something in this episode resonated with you, please leave a review or share it with a friend who'd love it too. Your support means the world and helps us reach more amazing women like you. Until next time, stay fierce, stay fit, and let's keep building your most powerful self.